Given what so many of us in the world of natural healing know and have experienced firsthand, the notion of a vaccine coming to the rescue is utterly absurd. There are endless ways for us to care for our health and the health of society that exists within nature's design. That is what I want to support and build in my world. Thank you for listening.
Thank you, Sarah. Yeah. So we could completely build a new healthcare system, but we actually have to plan on doing it. So if there's a great quote from Johann Wolfgang von Goethe, and it was his birthday yesterday, actually, and he said something like, "Whatever you can dream, begin it today." Right? Boldness has genius and magic in it. So we're going to need both genius and magic and boldness. But I know that you guys all have a dream. So begin it today. A number of other people wanted to say a few words. I also have some piano music, but I think we're just going to have to sit up for a little bit longer. Who out there is ready to say a few words? Patrick Doyle, please.
Thank you. I have the cure, but I'll tell you in just a minute. I was trying to think of a song to sing because, golly, we might as well have a little bit of something. The only one I could think of, it's so bizarre, I'll just have to sing. All you rounders who think you're tough, you feed your women on bread and snuff. Cocaine's gonna kill my honey dead. Tell it to me, there ain't corn liquor like the cocaine bee. Cocaine's are gonna kill my honey dead. Yeah. There's a lot of other things that kill your honey too. One of the things that's really been, I know it's gotta be bothering all of us because thank you very much for not wearing your masks. God, really. Thank you. Yes. I can see your smile. It's not just your eyes. I can see you. Well, you know, I've been trying to think of how to deal with this mask situation. But also, what is the mask? So one of the things that has come to me is that the mask has become really an archetype and an icon. And in fact, the mask has become a fetish. So the fetish, oh wow, I'm in the mask makers and I can make all these beautiful things and golly, I haven't seen any with cowrie shells yet, but I'm ready for that. So all these beautiful masks, and you notice that the masks are getting bigger. They're like this, you know, because your eyes really will reveal you. So pretty soon, I guess, we'll have the Western burqa thing going. So what is it that, how do I interact with people who have a mask and I don't? Because it's a challenge every day. And so I bring my mask if I go into a store or something, I've got it with me and it's hanging on my ear maybe or whatever. And the other day I walked into Lowe's and there was this couple in there, probably my age, and they didn't have masks on. And I was with my daughter, Dodge, who had her mask on, her Taconic Hills mask on. And she's very proud of it. And I had mine down to my chin, and I looked at these people and I said, "Oh, thank you for not wearing your mask." And they looked at me, and the woman looked and she said, "That's yours." I said, "Yeah, I know. What can I say? It's all this compliance thing." And they went, "Mm-hmm." So how do we relate to this whole mask thing? And what is the reality of it? Well, the reality of it is that it is a belief in science, a belief in the mass. Now we know that science is not a religion, but in fact, that's how people are dealing with it. I believe in science. You don't believe in science, you're just stupid. Well, okay, maybe there's another conversation we can have here, but The thing is that when they put the fetish on, they actually can't help themselves. Forgive them. They know not what they do. They have drunk the Kool-Aid. So what do? Do we stand in judgment of them as they stand in judgment of us? You can't do that if you're going to maintain your clarity of thought. Because this really is a challenge that we have to go through, and that those fellow humans may or may not come around to a clearer thinking, but we must, in our own way, elevate ourselves so that we do stay and maintain that clarity. In the biodynamic world, a preparation is a millionth of a part. Well, how can that do anything? Come on. This is ridiculous, a millionth of a part. That you've stirred with your arm and there it goes. Well, the fact is that it's been proven that it works. Well, how many humans does it take to sanctify and to enliven the lives of all humanity? It is only a millionth of a part. And in fact, there are not only millions of us, there are hundreds of millions of us. This is far more potent than any preparation. This is the ultimate clarity of thought. So, when I heard about the Berlin rally, I thought about the Angel of Victory at the other end of the Brandenburg Gate. And that image we ended up putting on the flyer, one of the flyers. It is the angel of victory that has to be raised up as the standard of the clarity of thought. It's not only the reality of the humanity and the wisdom of humanity, it's the reality of that which is not revealed and hidden. There is something else helping us out. And if anything, if all we think about is just that 100 million plus of others that are working on the clarity of thought, yes, that's it. There is a cure. There is really a cure. And my whole adult life I've spent creating and running theaters and places of assembly. I have always deeply thought that assembly is the most essential thing that can happen in our communities and in our world. Right now, it is illegal to assemble. Wait a minute. There is something deeply disturbingly wrong with this. We right now are assembling supposedly against the social norm and the dictates of Daddy Cuomo. But in fact, we are doing something that we are charged with that is far more significant, which is the assembly of people to be able to speak and interact with each other. This is what we have to have. We must have assembly. I have the cure. I have the cure. And the cure is global social warming. That is the cure.
Hugh Williams, please join us. Give us a few words. And please, everybody, visit with each other. Collect organizing information. Go ahead, Hugh.
Thank you, everybody. Hello. I'm coming here today to talk as an elder. I'm not even that old. I'm 73, but I'm going to ask you all in a minute to answer a very simple question, loud and clear, okay? Answer for me. So I've had, yeah, I'm not that old, and I'm still pretty active. I got a house to build and a few more things to do still, but Got a bum hip, that's 50 years of farming. I call it the John Deere hip. And blind in one eye, got a piece of metal in there, farming. And I got stories. My daughter, actually, my 17-year-old daughter told me I got to write a book about all the stories I tell, She said, were they embellished? I said, no, I actually held back some stuff I don't want you to hear. I've had an amazing life. And I have to say, I was born in Australia. But you see actually the true colors of Australia coming out now, okay? It's a police state, okay? I came to America and I was able to do everything that my heart told me to do and that I desired to do here in America. And I'm so grateful to this country for being open and free as it has been. It's been a wonderful, wonderful place, and I've been able to fulfill all my professional and personal and, all my goals, actually, financial, all of them. And I'm so grateful to the country here. And I've had my life, And here's the thing. We're being asked, children now, young people, are being asked to sacrifice their future so that I can live out my dotage. I think a group of German elders said the other day, they came and publicly stated, we don't want this, we're not asking for this. Do I want children's futures to be sacrificed so that I can live out my dotage? No! Thank you.
Stu, are you ready to speak? Cool. And there's a few other people. Okay, you're next. After Stu, come on up. Let's do summer, everybody.
Yay, Stu!
This will be the sobbing speech. Because whenever I try to say what I want to say right now, I start sobbing. So you'll just have to put up with it, okay? It's just something I do. And also because what I want to say isn't so, I so appreciate all that everyone has said so far. But the thing I want to say is that, well, all the things that have been said so far today have been so beautiful and so warm and so wise. And I know most of the people who spoke, and they are warm and wonderful and wise. But I also know that the reason they are is because they open themselves up. And they open themselves up to risk, and they open themselves up to inspiration, and I always admire the people who are so certain of what they think and feel, and I'm not that person. Or at least of what I think. I often know what I feel. But what I do know, and the thing that I struggle with every day, and I suspect many of us do, is how best to serve God right now. And each of us, well, a bunch of you have just answered that question by the beautiful things you just gave us. And I thank you for that, very much so. I want to tell a little story, and maybe I'll get over a few tears. I've been inspired by all of this, and I have to say that the backstory of how this came about is inspiring and beautiful itself. So Leland is this seemingly fearless human being who will go up to anyone and just start talking to them happily and want to know their story. And he said, we have to do this event. And we have to do it in resonance with Berlin and London and Ottawa today, and Madrid and Dublin. And that it doesn't matter whether 20 people come or 20,000 people come. What matters is that the note is played. That in a piece of music, there are quiet notes, and they're just as important. And I'm aware as well that around the entire globe, every day, prayers circle. I'm a Waldorf teacher. The morning verse circles around the earth every day. Many people's prayers in the evening circle around the earth every day. And believe me, I'm the first person to forget that. But I just want to remind us of it. And I wanted to remind us that there's a really big, nasty, beautiful, beautiful, beautiful battle happening in the world. We know that. And in our souls. As good or bad as we are, we all have that same and I want to share a thought that Sarah shared the other day. I'm a student of Rudolf Steiner's work, and I'd known a certain quote by Steiner, which we can all like. I can't quote it, but he says, there will come a time where a vaccine will be created which will make the human body incapable of receiving spiritual thoughts, or the spirit. But I didn't know the part that came before that, in which he said, and again, I'm the worst teacher of this possible, but I work at it every single day, that when we set aside our fear, just put it over here, we're doing something very, very important, because I have to continually do it. See if I can just keep doing it. When we set aside our fear, we're both opening ourselves to the good things that are trying to flow into us, but also our fear. I'm really trying to do this now. I'm really trying to set the fear aside. That our fear is the food, is the nourishment of, and I'm just going to say it, evil beings. So, please know that. Please, I have to practice it constantly. Like, I could walk up to any of you as individuals and just be friendly, and that doesn't scare me in the least. I'm really gregarious that way. But to share what I struggle with is terrifying to me. And I think, nonetheless, it's good for us all to recognize that we're all doing that thing. Some of us more than others, constitutionally, but that it's really, 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 really important work to stand open and let go. Let go of that fear, push it aside if need be, and then stand there to see what comes. And that's all that came for me today, and I really appreciate all that came to each of the people who spoke.
I'm just really thankful that you guys are willing to speak your minds today, because probably we won't really understand what